The husband was on his way home with presents for his daughter's birthday, but incredibly, the taxi driver took him to the cemetery instead. The man was full of rage and blamed his wife, accusing her of being unreasonable on their daughter's birthday. It turned out that just a few days ago, the wife was driving with their daughter, waiting at a traffic light. But the next moment, a huge chain collision accident occurred. The woman survived thanks to the protection of the airbag. However, her daughter, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, was flung out of the car directly. When she found her daughter, the little girl was already lying in a pool of blood, on the verge of death. She quickly picked up her daughter and rushed to the hospital. However, this scene happened to be witnessed by the husband's ex-girlfriend with her son. The scheming woman deliberately smeared the blood on the ground onto her uninjured son to create the false impression that her son was seriously injured. When the two children were sent to the hospital for emergency treatment, as a doctor, the husband was shocked to find that the injured one was his own daughter. The wife felt a bit relieved when she saw her husband. But unexpectedly, at this moment, the scheming woman deliberately made her son let out painful groans to attract the man's attention. Sure enough, as soon as the husband saw his ex-girlfriend, he rushed over immediately. The scheming woman framed the wife, claiming that it was the wife who had hit them with the car and that her son was now seriously injured. She even knelt down, begging the man for help. The wife was about to refute when the nurse brought more bad news. All the other doctors were busy rescuing the injured, and at that moment, only the husband was qualified to perform the surgery. He was asked to weigh the severity of the injuries and decide who to operate on first. The man saw that the ex-girlfriend's son was covered in blood all over, while his own daughter didn't seem to have any obvious external injuries. So he immediately decided to operate on the scheming woman's son first. Little did he know that his own daughter was suffering from a cerebral hemorrhage. The scumbag husband didn't examine his daughter's injuries carefully but hastily concluded that his daughter seemed to be okay. No matter how desperately the wife pleaded, the husband at that time seemed to be bewitched, thinking that the wife was just being hysterical. He simply ignored the mother and daughter and turned around to enter the operating room to save the ex-girlfriend's son. In the end, due to the delay of the best rescue opportunity, the daughter unfortunately passed away. The mother couldn't accept the reality and was crying her heart out. Meanwhile, the scheming woman's son was completely fine, just with a simple band-aid on. After coming out of the operating room, the scumbag husband comforted his ex-girlfriend, telling her not to worry as her son was actually okay. Moreover, he used the wife's money to book a VIP ward specifically for them. The scheming woman pretended that it wasn't appropriate to do so, but the man said righteously that the wife came from a wealthy family and wouldn't care about such a small amount of money. After that, he was about to go and see his daughter. To prevent the man from leaving, the scheming woman deliberately pretended to faint to win his sympathy. Sure enough, this trick worked well on the scumbag. He ignored his own biological daughter and stayed by the scheming woman's side instead. At the same time, on the wife's side, the doctor informed her that the transfer of the body required the signatures of 2 immediate family members. She dialed countless phone calls, but the husband just wouldn't answer. Just when she was at a loss, she was shocked to see her husband and the scheming woman hugging each other.